Thanks. And with that, let me turn to our guest. I believe we'll have on the screen Maximo Torero, the chief economist for the Food and Agriculture Organization. Mr. Torero.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you can hear me well.
Yeah, we can hear you well.
Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. So what I'm going to do today is to present the briefing on the FAO Food Price Index in April, which was released today, early in the morning, Rome time. So following 12 consecutive months of declines, the FAO Food Price Index rebounded in April by 0.6% since March, but is standing at 19.7% below its value in April 2022, a year ago. The rebound in the index in April resulted from a steep increase in the sugar price index, with a small upturn in the meat price index and also in rice. Other cereal prices and dairy and vegetable oils fall. The key drivers behind the increase, and the most important factor of the increase, was led by a slight increase in the food price index in April because of a 17.6% increase in the sugar price index, reaching its highest level since October. This steep increase stemmed from several factors, and they include the downward revision to production forecasts in India and China, lower than earlier expected outputs in Thailand and the European Union, and the slow start to Brazil's harvest, and higher international crude oil prices, and the appreciation of the Brazilian real against the US dollar. So to conclude, the FAO Food Price Index has been declining for the last 12 months, but this month there was a slight increase, but it is not because of cereals, with the exception of rice. And therefore, we need to stay vigilant in terms of how prices will evolve in the future. While international wheat, maize, and vegetable oil prices registered record highs and much volatility last year, rice markets kept relatively calm in view of the large global supplies. Over the past 7 months, however, the rice prices have been generally on the rise, and in some countries increased by more than 25%. And this is extremely important because if we look at the most vulnerable countries in Sub-Saharan Africa and Africa by itself is the first importer of rice in the world. Now, the rapid emergence of El Niño is raising concerns about possible impacts in rice production in South and Southeast Asia. This could put further upward pressure in the rice price. Another important point is while food commodity prices decline in the world markets, they remain high for consumers at country level with elevated food price inflation. What this means is that declines that we have been observing in cereal prices have still not been transmitted to local lower prices of the food commodities. Thank you very much. I'm more than happy to answer any questions.
Great. Thank you very much. We'll now turn the floor over to questions. Edie.
Thank you very much, Maximo, on behalf of the United Nations Correspondents Association for doing this briefing. Edith Lederer from the Associated Press. 2 questions. First, what would you believe the impact would be if the Black Sea Grain Initiative is suspended on May 18th on the Global Food Index? And secondly, if I heard right, the biggest increase was tuna. Is there any expectation that 17.6% increase will go down in the coming months? Thank you.
Thank you. Let me answer your second question. The biggest increase was in sugar, and that was the 17.6%. And the expectation, if it will decline in the following months, will depend a lot in the harvest of Brazil and the performance of the harvest of Brazil, and if there is an improvement in the realization of the forecast for India and China. But at this point, we are observing a significant increase in the price of sugar. The second element that increased was rice, as I mentioned before, and which is because the reduction in the area planted of rice, which has resulted in increasing prices, and the reduction in the area planted of rice was because of the increase of the input cost. Regarding your first question, The Black Sea Initiative played a significant role in the last months since it was signed, because it increased the availability of cereals to the world, more than 25 million metric tons. And that, of course, allowed that prices start to fall. And that's one of the reasons why, one of the major reasons why prices of cereals fall in the last 12 months, and they are still slowly going down. Now, the decline has been in a lower rate, and the markets, of course, are already absorbing part of the uncertainty of the potential non-renewal of the Black Sea Grain Initiative. But even though markets have already absorbed partially that potential uncertainty, if the Black Sea Initiative is not renewed, we will observe a spike in the prices of cereals as a result of that. But we don't know exactly what will be the length of that spike or how quickly it will smooth down. So yes, it could have a bigger negative effect if it is not renewed.
My apologies for mixing up tuna and sugar, but the sound from your end is not perfect.
Apologies for that.
Also, in fairness, tuna can be sweet. Are there other questions? Are there any questions from our correspondents online? If not, I will release our guest. Thanks again for your updates on the food price index. It's always good having you around. To take care,
Oh,
Mr.
thank you. A
Torero.
pleasure.